Drummer Dundee here, and it's the most wonderful time of the year. What's Christmas? It's October. It is now socially acceptable for most people to start thinking about Halloween and be completely spooktacular for the rest of the month. It's my favorite time of year. I love Halloween. It's my favorite holiday. It is all that I've been thinking about for a lot of September, and now that we're in October and it's everywhere and we can enjoy it. So I'm gonna celebrate the way I celebrate pretty much every single holiday, which is with a good old-fashioned movie marathon. So today we're talking about the top 5 90s kid Halloween movies. Number 5. I'm already starting off with a little bit of a caveat because this is technically 2 movies, The Addams Family and The Addams Family Values. These came out in 1991 and 1993 respectively. So in this case, I'm referring to the adapted films and not the beloved syndicated 1960s TV series. Both The Addams Family and The Addams Family Values were really cool movies to me growing up. They have a wonderful, just morbid aesthetic to them that is even different from the TV show. It's a little bit grayer, it's a little bit creepier. Addams Family Values focuses actually on summer vacation instead of Halloween time, but it's still got that creepy vibe to it that you really want to watch during Halloween. I do, however, highly recommend the first one just because there's a lot of good like party scenes in it. It's very creepy, and you get to see a lot of the Addams Family mansion, which has all these rooms and secret corridors and escape tunnels like that to really get into a nice creepy Halloween spirit. Number 4 is Under Wraps. Under Wraps is a made-for-TV Disney Channel original movie. It came out in 1997. If you, like me, really love this movie, I wish you luck in finding it. I've tried to several times, and it's apparently quite rare. It did come out before the forefront of DVD technology, really, so if you could buy it, it was really only on tape and really only sold at very specific times. Disney Channel has this weird kind of hold on their original movies that they put out in the 90s, and they're really hard to find. So let me know if you find Under Wraps for a reasonable price. Anyway, I really love the movie Under Wraps because it is such a good 90s kid movie. You have these 3 main kid characters who are friends. One of them is obsessed with old monster movies, and he ends up finding an actual mummy in this house that's for sale. So the mummy wakes up, and it turns out it is one of the palace guards who fell in love with a queen of ancient Egypt. Of course, there's almost always that ancient Egyptian mummy love story going on. The problem is he really needs to reunite with his love in order to go back to his eternal slumber. So the kids try to help him out. And of course, the lover queen is trapped in a museum exhibition because she had a much nicer burial than he did as palace guard. It's really cute and zany. There's lots of funny moments. The guy who plays the mummy himself is this huge guy. I think he was a former athlete. So it's really funny throughout the movie because it's Halloween time during the movie. They keep thinking that he's like someone's uncle dressed up. He gets mistaken for a burn victim in the hospital because he has all these bandages. He actually ends up like ordering fast food without even being able to speak. He just points at the menu. It's a lot of like cute, kind of zany hijinks going on with the mummy. But in the meantime, you do have these kids who are realizing things about life throughout this silly mummy adventure. Number 3, The Halloween Tree, 1993. So this is another made-for-TV adaptation. It's from Ray Bradbury's classic book, The Halloween Tree, and it's an animated feature. It is so beautifully done. I love the art style of The Halloween Tree. Once again, very 90s. You have a group of friends together who are going on an adventure. This time, however, it's a little bit of a more serious adventure. Their friend is undergoing a treatment for an illness, and a very serious illness at that, to the point where they don't really know if he's going to survive is kind of their worry. So it takes a very real problem like childhood illness, but it makes it more bite-sized. Like you have friends worrying about their friend. They think, is he going to die? Is he going to survive this treatment? Is he ever going to get any better? So you have this problem, and then it's encompassed in this bigger adventure. So the kids are all dressed up for Halloween. They're trying to get, like extra candy for their friend because he is sick. And then they go to this specific house, this big mansion, which is where the Halloween tree is. And the Halloween tree is full of people's souls. And their friend's soul appears to be on the tree, signaling he might die this very Halloween night. So they meet up with this man who is in control of the Halloween tree, and they're like, we want to save our friend. We want to make sure that he is not going to die, and we want to save his soul. So he lets them go on this challenge to do so, and the challenges are based off of the costumes they're wearing. So we have one kid who's dressed as a skeleton, and he gets transported to the catacombs and the Day of the Dead celebration to see how skeletons have been used in the history of Halloween or traditions like Halloween. There's a girl dressed as a witch, so she goes and sees this coven of witches and how witchcraft didn't always go so nicely with the witch trials, and several examples throughout history. You have this one kid who's dressed like a gargoyle, and he sees how this huge gothic masterpiece of architecture was made. And all the time they are seeing their friend helping them to try to get his soul back, but at the same time not really knowing that they're helping. So it's kind of a very beautiful, little sad, but also very interesting and educational even show, and I really like it. It has a lot of really good voice acting in it. Another one that's still, like Under Wraps, a little hard to get, especially on DVD. But it is one thing I always love seeing each Halloween. Beautiful story, friends getting together, try to save other friends, learning about the history of Halloween, great animation, all around cool movie. Number 2, Hocus Pocus, also from 1993. I feel like Hocus Pocus is finally getting the respect that it deserves. Like just recently, maybe in the last 5 years or so, people are really starting to get Hocus Pocus and understand it. So Hocus Pocus wasn't just a tiny movie, it was a full movie, has Bette Midler in it, there's some real things going on in it. You have a teenager moving from this bustling sort of metropolis in California, doesn't really specify where, and he's moving to the East Coast. Things are a lot more chill, relaxed, small town vibes here. He doesn't really like it. So he tries to impress this girl while he's taking his little sister trick-or-treating, and they end up going to this museum where supposedly 3 witches were hanged during like the Salem witch trials. And he lights the special candle that no one's ever supposed to light because you could recall the witches. And of course, they always read from a book and mess everything up. So the witches are back, and they want to steal the souls of children, and now you've got some 90s kid adventures where they have to stop it. I love Hocus Pocus. I loved watching it. When I was little, I was in like a little after school program, and me and 2 other girls would pretend to be the Sanderson sisters. That was like our thing during the afternoons. It wasn't even Halloween time. It was just kind of a whenever sort of thing. Hey, let's be witches. All right. Such a good movie. It has such great costuming in it. And you can actually get like the Sanderson sisters costumes now. I love the costumes that they have. I love the whole characterization they have of them. Very tightly knit story, but also very simple and very heartfelt at the same time. Definitely one of my favorite Halloween movies. Number 1, HALLOWEENTOWN. It comes to this. HALLOWEENTOWN, 1998, another Disney Channel original movie. Just so good. It's just so good. When I was younger, my life was all about HALLOWEENTOWN. HALLOWEENTOWN was me. HALLOWEENTOWN was just my expression of the world. If you cut me when I was 10 years old, I would bleed HALLOWEENTOWN. It is just the perfect movie for like a weird preteen girl. Just perfect movie for that. There's this girl, she always feels like she's different from everybody else. She feels different even from most of like her siblings a little bit, starting to battle with her mom and having like teenage rebellion. Her grandmother, who she actually likes, stops by, and she's always very unusual. She can't stay very long. Lo and behold, turns out her family's a family of witches. And the reason she is so angsty right now is she is supposed to be getting trained as a witch when she turns a certain age. And then they manage to follow the grandmother to Halloweentown, a portal where all of our Halloween dreams and adventures, monsters, skeletons, werewolves, vampires, they're all real. They all live together in this town. The town has such beautiful design. It has this huge jack-o'-lantern in the middle, which is a key plot point later on in the film. The costumes are wonderful. I even love the things that the kids wear. Like the main character, Marnie, is wearing kind of this Halloween costume witch's dress like over her normal clothes, and it's just such a cool color contrast. It just makes so much sense with the character. How any of the characters are costumed actually is just really beautiful and unique, and it really makes Halloweentown, a portal to a fantasy world where Halloween is every day, feel quite real, which is really refreshing. I just love this movie so much. I always have to watch it. I love the soundtrack to it. It has this really like upbeat soundtrack that I love, because it's just like, this is a town. Halloweentown is real. People live here all the time. And you really feel it, and you get to earnestly celebrate it and live your best Halloween lives through Marnie and her siblings and the whole adventure. There's also sequels, which are a mixed bag, but the first one, definitely enjoyable. I don't see how anyone could not love Halloweentown. So that's all from me for today. I wish that you have a fantastic Halloween and look forward to some more videos coming up. Let me know what your favorite 90s kid Halloween movies are, ripe for the marathoning, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.